Tree Talking Time is brought to you by Conkey's Outdoors and Stone Creek Hound Supply. Be sure to check them out for all your hound hunting needs.
Welcome to Tree Talking Time, where we talk all things tree dogs, from the smallest feists to the largest hounds, treating squirrels to bears and everything in between. And from time to time, we might even run a little fast game.
How did you guys make out through Milton?
Oh man, we got extremely lucky. We had two hurricanes roll through Florida, and Milton. It was the worst one for us. We lost power for a day, and it flooded around the store. But honestly, we're blessed, and the West Coast was not so blessed. And it was real sad to see. But these hurricanes. I haven't lived in Florida about 4 years, and every year it seems like they get worse and worse. Mm-hmm. And, the people that have lived here forever seem to think the same thing. So,
jeez.
But I'm glad hurricane season's over. It was, it's always a frantic time when they're rolling through. So.
Oh, I'm sure. I couldn't imagine living down there with all that.
Oh yeah. And the craziest part is, I grew up in East Tennessee, and man, our prayers go out to all the people, up there affected by, the dams and all that kind of thing, and the flooding, and that's just the thing that's going to take a lot of time to heal. So,
and just such a freak thing to happen. You think of a hurricane, you don't think of the mountains being severely affected by a hurricane. You think, you're in the mountains, you're far enough inland, it doesn't matter. And here it just hammers them with rain, and then they'd already had a bunch of rain, and so everything just washed down and created mudslides and bridges.
Oh yeah.
Oof.
It's crazy. Prayers for them. I mean, you go live up in the mountains to get away from everything crazy.
Exactly.
So, it's heartbreaking, really. But
it really is.
It really is. But no, we're cranking along. It's getting busy season. I think I told you this morning when you reached out if I want to do a podcast. I said, man, I hope I have the energy by 8 o'clock tonight. And I'm running pretty low. I spent probably 75% of my 10-hour day talking on the phone. And Corey and Kelsey, they've been up in Kentucky hunting big bucks, and Corey's been doing some coon hunting. And so they come back tomorrow, and I'm very, very glad that they're back. But it's been a blessing. I mean, every year we grow and grow, and we've grown in employees. We got a few new ones, and things are a little more streamlined. But it's a mad dash for the next month or so of everybody that. And just like me, I wait till last minute. Everybody's waiting till last minute to get their gear, and
I was in a hunting store years ago, and I was like, man, this would be a cool place to work. And he goes, unless you like hunting or fishing. And I said, why is that? He goes, because when it's prime time to hunt, that's when everyone's in here buying their hunting gear. Because when it's prime time to fish, he goes, that's when everybody's in here to buy their fishing gear. So he said it's the worst place to work, because he said our busy season is when you don't want to be here.
No, that's true. It's it's kind of crazy. We do rotate weekends, so that's kind of nice. We got 3 in a store at a time. But yeah, I mean, this time of year and all year, everybody asks, "Are you guys gonna, be at the Autumn Oaks? Are you guys gonna be at some of these hunts and stuff?" And it's a blessing and a curse. I'd love to go to some of those hunts. I wanted to come to Autumn Oaks and hang out with you this year, but it's so busy. But that's the thing. We try our best, the absolute best, to take care of everybody, and I think people are seeing it, and
for sure.
We're just pushing through, and
I'll be honest.
By the time,
a couple years ago. Like, I'm not saying Conkey's wasn't, a name that people knew, but it's not the same as it is today. A couple years ago, you'd see people say, hey, where's a good place to buy a lighter or a good place to buy chaps or whatever? And I'll be honest, one of the few people that would say Conkey's was Corey. Corey was, hey, come to shop at Conkey's, he was doing his best to promote it and everything, but you guys did not have the loyal supporters that I think you do today. Where now it's like somebody asks for some, hey, where can I buy this? Or hey, is this guy? I saw it the other day. Someone was like, hey, is this guy a scam? Or his prices seem a little too good, and everyone's like, it's a scam. Don't waste your time. Quit shopping. Trying to nickel and dime things. Just go to Conkeys.
Oh yeah. It's a couple things you mentioned. The scams. I mean, there was somebody over the weekend that was selling used or refurbished one is how they were saying it, tracking collars for $100 a piece. And I think I got them removed off Facebook today, but they were using our name and our likeness, and you're doing good when you get a scammer deleted, and then the next day they've got a new account open.
Yep.
But yeah, if you're shopping online, just be careful. No legitimate store is going to reach out to you on Facebook and because you like their post or they ain't going to give you the send me the money, friends and family. They ain't treating you like family. They're going to take that money. But
exactly.
No, what you said about Corey, I've worked at a lot of places over the years in television. That was my previous life, and it was a grind. I mean, it was very time sensitive, and it was a 24-hour job. I ain't ever worked with nobody that works as hard as Corey. I mean, he's by far the best coworker I've ever had. And if any of my TV friends are listening, y'all were great too. But I mean, like you said, he before I got there, he was doing the Facebook and stuff, and that's where we get the most customers. I would say is just social media and. But he was also stretched in about 100 different directions. We didn't have all the people we had, but he also didn't know he was a social media influencer. But one of us has to run the camera, and one of us has to be in front of it, and he does a heck of a job, explaining these products and getting people excited. And
he does.
And something a customer said to me today, actually, he said, I shop with y'all because y'all hunt. And, when I first got there, not everybody hunted. Now every single person that works there, I can firmly say we all hunt. If it's not coon hunting, it's deer hunting. And we got some guys that go out there and thermal hog hunt. So, we're all invested, but, we can't get away this time of year when it's prime time. But we find other things to do all summer too.
Mm-hmm.
But
well, heck, we've made it into this quite a bit, and we're talking about the store. We're talking about Corey. Just in case somebody's living under a rock here and doesn't know who you are, Zach, why don't you introduce yourself and where you're from?
Yeah. My name's Zach Conkey. I'm from East Tennessee. I was born and raised there. My grandfather, I remember, every summer I'd come down here and we'd go coon hunting half the time. And, I remember the logo of Conkeys, and I probably said this on your last podcast, but it was in 06, and we created it on Microsoft Paint. That's how long the company's been around. But, basically my dad was born and raised in Florida, moved to Tennessee to play college football, met my mom. That's where I was born. So, summers I'd come down, stay with my grandfather. The summer when I turned 18, after my freshman year of college, my parents, they thought they were going to punish me, send me to Florida. And it was wonderful. I coon hunted every night with my grandpa. We formed a bond. And that's been a long time ago. That's been almost well over a decade. And, I had some coon dogs after that in Tennessee. I never did any competition hunting. I never had a dog that was worth anything. Still this day, we got some that'll treat coons, but I don't know that we'd say we have anything great. But moved back down here during COVID because I was working from home, and I said, man, it's a perfect time. My wife always wanted to live near the beach. I told her that was the same reason for me, but really I just wanted to go hunting my grandpa again and get back into this lifestyle. Mm-hmm. And got some dogs again, and we've been full tilt the last, I guess, about 3 years now. So
I'll tell you what, you've made quite the transformation in 3 years. And you would think going from East Tennessee to Florida, you'd switch to the flip flops and playing golf, but you went from playing golf in East Tennessee to the big bearded coon hunter in Florida.
Oh yeah, no, I lived in Knoxville in Tennessee, and I worked in television, and my first few jobs, I remember I was coon hunting a lot. I had a little bit of time. I was in school and working part time, going to school full time. Then it ended up working full time and going to school full time, and then you don't have any time to do anything fun. But I remember like my first television job. I used to run camera, and I used to set a coon trap out on the back of the news station porch. And I caught one morning, and I worked a 4 a.m. to 1 p.m. shift, and the news anchor was like, "Bring it in here, bring it in." So I brought a live raccoon in a trap into the news studio.
That's hilarious.
But as
Did it make it
as
on
I
the
got
news?
older, no, I didn't make it on the news. They would have not liked that if any management found out, but no one was there at the time. It was early, so. But no, I went from that, and then had a family, and I had to wear collared shirts every day and pants, and it consumed me. They'd call me at right now I'm hunting at 1 a.m. They'd be calling me. I'd be getting up, rolling out of bed, working at 1 a.m. if some disaster, television disaster was happening. So yeah, it's been. I moved to Florida. I don't wear shoes anymore. I just wear my $5. People make fun of them. They say they look like Jesus shoes, but Jesus Christ, my hero, so I'm fine with it. But I wear shorts and sandals every day, and I don't have to cut my hair, and it's a really nice mullet right now and a beard, and so yeah, I'd say that I don't know if the transition's a really good thing, but I'm definitely more relaxed and enjoying life a lot more.
As long as your wife Ashley's not complaining, who cares?
Nah, she loves it. She's I got a funny story if you got a minute about her and
of course.
her career. I tell these stories on podcasts, and I'll tell you what, you're the first person to get me to get on one of these things, and I've slightly warmed up to them. Still don't love them, but this has to do with coon hunting. We moved down here. My wife was trying to start a new career and to be an esthetician, to work on skincare and all this stuff. And before that, in Knoxville, she worked in eye care, and she loved it. And so moved here, and she was really kind of bouncing around trying to figure out what she wanted to do. Well, me and Corey were out coon hunting one night, and we had a dog, Creed, that was a young dog, and we were excited. And I had another dog on a leash. I was standing behind him, and he's got a .22 pistol, and he started shooting the coon out. And when he did, the first casing popped back and hit me in my chest, and the second casing popped back and hit me right in my eyeball. And I don't know if you've ever been hit with a bullet casing in your eye, but
No.
it's probably one of the worst feelings of all time. It feels like you just got a bunch of dirt in your eye and you can't open it. So anyways, I get in the truck and call my wife. She's like, you need to run water on it. You need to do this and that. You probably need to go find a optometrist that'll see you right now. And I was like, we got to finish hunting. We still got a couple more turnouts. And long story short, I've never, as late as me and Corey has ever hunted until 4 a.m. I ain't ever stayed the night at his house. Well, I did that night. He put me up in his daughter's room and had an ice pack, and I laid there in bed and I prayed and I said, please just let me keep this eye. And I remember waking up and his daughter had walked in there and was staring at me like, what's wrong with you? And but the best part about the story was it turned out to be a great thing. I went to the eye doctor next day. They said, yeah, your eye's got an abrasion. It's messed up. They took pictures of it. I had to go in for checkups like every day after that for like 3 or 4 days. And next time I went back, I asked the eye doctor, I said, well, y'all look pretty busy. He said, oh, we're busy every day. And I said, my wife used to work in eye care, so I understand. And he's like, does she want a job? And so next thing you know, she gets an interview, gets a job there. She loves it here, loves her job now. And it was all because Corey shot my eye out coon hunting. That was the whole moral of the story. So one of the best things that's ever happened to me, really, was getting my eye shot out. But
Oh my.
that was a long ramble of a story, but I figure somebody might think it's funny.
No, that is, and the way it all worked out, that she gets a job out of you getting hurt. Hey,
Oh yeah,
at least something good came out of it.
that's right. No, it was a blessing. She loved their family practice too, and all of them hunting fish. So
Nice.
we got a whole new customer base too. They're the Miles family, and we got the Conkey and Davis family, and so it's fun. But
Very nice.
yeah, but no, it's the best job I ever had. I'll say that.
Yeah. What's new at the store? Anything? Any new products recently come out, or?
Oh yeah, we can talk about all kinds of new stuff. Really, as far as new stuff goes out, a lot of the Garmin stuff came out last year.
Mm-hmm.
Dog Tree a few years before. The LTE collar, I think it's a great backup, and people are starting to use it and see it, and some people are struggling with it. But Corey's up there in Kentucky. He helped Jason Daughter get his together, and we thought we could never do it. Just kidding. Jason's fine. He just this technology it's kind of mind blowing sometimes. But anyway, that's a big change where people are starting to track these coon dogs ranging out 2 miles with a cell phone collar.
Yeah.
Now people are.
Do you recommend that as a replacement or only as a backup?
There's two scenarios. I would recommend it as a backup. As much as we see online about Garmin collars not being stable and everything like that, your GPS collar is absolutely more stable than cell phone in the middle of the woods.
Mm-hmm.
With that being said, everybody knows this. Your dog ranges out a certain distance, you lose them.
Mm-hmm.
That's where the LTE, as a backup, really, it's a really great move. I mean, we cut dogs here, cut dogs there, miles apart, just trying to keep them separate and see how many coons we can tree, and all these pups. And if we got an LTE collar on one, the dog can be 2-3 miles away, no truck antenna. I can be staying in the middle of the woods tracking him, with just a little stubby antenna. So
nice.
That's one reason. Another reason would be, and I think this is great, and I've heard people talk about on Facebook, you can have a dog you send somewhere. I could send a dog to Tennessee or Kentucky. I could send a dog up to you, Ben.
Yeah.
And I could watch that dog hunt. And that's a big thing. You're sending a nice dog to someone and they say they're going to hunt it every night, and you can sit there on your couch, or you can sit there in your woods hunting another dog, watching that dog hunt across the map. So, I wouldn't go as far to say this is going to replace the Garmin collars.
Yeah.
But, coonhounds, they've gotten expensive. I mean, we know this.
For sure.
So they're a big investment. It's just something to protect your investment more.
And what's one of those cost?
They're $300, and then it's a $50 service charge, I guess, subscription a year to run the service, and it's not one singular cell phone tower. It bounces off any of them in the area. You don't have to have the cell phone signal to, make a call or FaceTime someone, but as long as you got a little bit of it, it'll ping that collar and track it. One big thing that people are confused about, and I've told people this on the phone, you don't have to do any kind of manual switching. Once you pair it with your Garmin collar, people get hung up on looking at it saying, oh, it's not giving off a bunch of service. Well, it kind of lays dormant until that Garmin collar kind of loses range, and then that Alpha LTE collar will just pick up, take its place, and you might not even notice it.
Okay.
So it's a good little backup. I think that's something that everyone's still figuring out, but it's a cool little product to help keep track of those coonhounds. So
now you're saying it's not running off of one service. So I have Verizon. If I'm running Verizon and I'm somewhere that I don't have Verizon service, but say AT&T or Sprint or somebody else does in that area, am I still gonna be able to track that dog?
Yeah. Especially you can track it on your phone, standalone without a Garmin collar. The thing is, you got to have service on your phone and on the collar.
Okay.
If you're tracking it, it's paired to a just a TT25 or a TT15 or a T20, for example. What it'll do is you can actually track it on your handheld too. If you got an Alpha 200 or a 300, you can see that little LTE bar, and it'll track there too. So yeah, as long as it's got just a tiny bit of service. We hunt areas where we ain't got any service, just like anybody else, in the middle of the woods. But we got areas I can't upload a Facebook comment, but that collar will work. So, but yeah, as far as the tracking, I think that's a game changer. We got guys running them on deer dogs. What else you want to talk about? Boots, lights? You tell me.
What's new? What's the best sellers?
Yeah. Well, we'll talk about lights. I guess everybody loves lights, but really, there's so many lights out there that are really good lights.
Oh yeah.
I could go through the list. Kelly K light, Cajun light.
Yep.
There's really four that kind of separate themselves. You've got the Sunspot Copperhead, which has a very natural color main beam. Everybody likes it. Everybody likes that lifetime warranty.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
You've got Bright Eyes. They've come out with this Heat Seeker Pro XP.
Okay.
That thing is bright. Ray Conrad, who builds them, he said every time he comes out with a light, he talks about how it's this much more brighter. He's dead on with this. It's a pretty bright light. It's got that really bright white LED.
Yeah.
That's a really nice light. Razor, the Razor Z1, that's a really solid built light. Johnny Watkins did a good job. If you're in a competition hunt, you walk up to the tree with your walk light, and then everybody wants to shine red and main beam. He's got the switch to where you go from your walk light, you press forward, there's your red, and there's your main beam. He's put a lot of thought into it.
Okay.
That's a good light. And another light that's really starting to take off are the tall timber lights. Rob Giddings, he builds those. And his dad, he uses his dad to test all these lights. And his dad's about as old school as a hunter you can imagine. He would hunt circles around us. But that light right there, Rob is a great builder. He's got a lifetime warranty on his new Mark IV.
Okay.
It's got a spectacular walk light. Main beam's great. But there's so many good lights. It's really when people call, no one should ever hesitate to call. You can talk to me about lights. I'll talk to you about lights all day. It's about finding the one that's right for you.
I know we've had this conversation before, and you're like, I like this. I don't even remember which light you liked, but then you're like, what do you like? And I started going through, and you're like, well, you wouldn't even like the light that I use. You're like, you'd probably like one of these other 2 or 3 lights better.
Oh yeah. No, I might hate something, you might love it, and vice versa. But if you call, I start narrowing it down. Which color main beam do you want? Where do you want your switch at? Certain things, and is weight a factor? Do you want a laser? Do you want an amber light on it? They all got all these little bells and whistles. So, it's like, it's just about finding something that you really like more than what's hot.
Yeah.
And boots and chaps the same way. My foot is different than your foot.
Oh yeah.
But we've got 2 Amish companies that they chap these boots up, and they just keep getting better and better. I mean, we're getting less calls about any kind of issues with them. And they're tough. I mean, I get about a year and a half on every pair of boots.
Nice.
And that's pretty good. I mean, hunting as much as we do sometimes during the summer and stuff, it's they do a good job. There's not really much new in the boot game right now.
Yeah.
I mean,
it doesn't surprise me.
There's about 20 different brands, and I hate to even go down that rabbit hole, but if somebody calls, they can kind of tell me what they're looking for. Corey can tell you. He knows more than me.
I would say, with that, you kind of pick a chap that you like, but then otherwise it's also just picking a boot that you like, which majority of the manufacturers run. I'm not saying all of them run the same boots, but a lot of them run multiple boots, with their chaps. So you can almost kind of pick and choose the boot and the chap that you like.
Oh yeah, and the crazy thing is you can't go somewhere and try on all the boots. That's the bad thing. So
yeah,
you working with what you know, and but boots and lights. That's the most important thing a coon hunter can have.
Oh yeah. Stone Creek Hound Supply, a family-operated business, boasts over 50 years of involvement in hounds. For over 2 decades, they've been dedicated to supplying high-quality hound gear. Their reputation is founded on unparalleled quality and exceptional customer service. Crafted from U.S. source materials, Stone Creek clothing is meticulously manufactured right here in Pennsylvania. Through their commitment to excellence, many of their customers have become lifelong friends.
And then there's thermals. With
Yeah,
you know,
just had this conversation the other night.
yeah, there's thermals, and everybody wants the hottest, and um, you know, it. I think there's an old saying, there's a lot of ways to skin a cat or something. I really don't know what that means, but there's a lot of ways to find a coon too in a tree. Um, so thermals, we started branching out. We've always carried AGM.
Yeah.
We just started branching out. This is kind of hot and new, I guess. We started testing out IRA. We started testing out a new brand called Pard. A lot of excitement about both of those. It just depends on how much money you want to spend on it.
Yeah, 'cause aren't they both a little pricier than the AGMs?
Oh yeah. The AGMs we really push now. We started pushing a new Seeker model, and the Seeker, it's everybody AGM wise raved about that old ASP 25.
Mm-hmm.
It gave you the clarity. It gave you the good field of view. They discontinued. They came out with the Taipan model, and they came out with the Sidewinder model. Those models are okay. I mean, the Sidewinder had the great clarity, and people call me every day. Well, should I get a new thermal? And my question is, are you finding coons with what you got? I mean, if they say yes, then that's a decision for them.
Mm-hmm.
But the Seeker's the model that kind of has that good clarity, has that good field of view. I started messing with the thermal. I carry this one in my pocket every night. It's in my truck if it's not in my pocket, but if I'm testing something else. But it's called the IRA Finder, Seeker Finder. These all get confusing. They all got some crazy names. But the IRA Finder, it's got really good clarity. It's got the field of view. It's also got a $2,500 price tag.
Yeah.
It's got a rangefinder, which you'll never use for coon hunting. But the funny thing is, customers kind of call and they tell me what they want, and then I get intrigued, and we got to test them when they do that. And I had a man who's about 75 years old do his research and find this thermal, and he hit the nail on the head. It's a good thermal. It's worth the money. The other one, it's a $2,600 unit called the Pard TA62. The big thing on it is that little crosshair that bounces around the screen, locks onto a coon. This thing's small and fits in your pocket. It's crazy. I can't imagine what thermals are going to be like 10 years from now.
I'm sure they'll be insane. You'll be able to it'll be looking like just through a camera at that point.
Oh yeah, they got thermal drones now. Heck, I saw Tesla's got some robot now that'll do about anything. If you can figure out how to get that thing to walk to the tree and get the dog off and find a coon, I mean, who knows? I don't know what the future holds, but thermals are ever changing. That's the truth there.
Yeah.
But I could talk about all this gear all night long.
But I know the other day when we kind of met, I told you that I was talking to a guy about it, and you told me that some of those cheaper ones, while they're budget friendly, they are not the same quality as some of the more expensive ones, right?
Yeah, the big thing is, as low as the lowest thermal I would go would be if I was going to save up enough money to invest in one of these thermals, and still the cheapest ones out there are still about $600.
Mm-hmm.
The lowest one I'd go would probably be like a $1,200 unit, which is the AGM Seeker 15.
Yeah.
We've sold some of the cheaper units in the past, and I understand, people are on budgets and can't get financed and things like this, but you're looking for a rodent in a tree.
Yep.
And they're not very big some of the time. Now, some of these coons up north your way, they're probably huge, but
we don't have those giant coon.
Yeah, we got small ones, but you're looking up in a big tall tree for these little mammals, and it's if you don't have something that has a little bit of zoom to it, and then has a little bit of clarity to it, you're almost better off looking with your light.
Yeah.
We get people that buy the $600 thermals and stuff, and then they call and they want to trade them in, or it's just and there's a lot of people that are happy with them. I mean, there's some guys that swear by the $600 units, and that's great if they're finding coons. Like I said,
yep,
it doesn't matter. I just want to make sure people, I don't want to sell you a $3,000 thermal if a $1,400 thermal is going to work great for you.
Yeah.
But people have different needs and different wants, and you pleasure hunting, you competition hunting, you hunting young dogs. What are you doing?
Yep.
But I had a guy tell me not too long ago. He said, I don't know which one I would rather leave at the house, the thermal or the tracking system. So, and he was an older gentleman. So, that's how important these thermals have gotten during the summer, especially. And if you're in Florida, it's
almost
summer year round.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So we're firm believers in it. I mean, we take these things and test them. I'm gonna put some videos out here soon. I keep saying we're gonna do it like next week, and then it's always next week. But
I know I need one because I'm pretty sure I got a liar on my hands right now. He's pretty rusty because I didn't hunt him all summer long, and I've been trying to get him back in shape. And I'm like, there's enough leaves that it's real hard to know if he's lying to me. I have a real good feeling that he is, but I'm just like, I don't know.
Oh yeah,
there's enough leaves up there to tell that you can't see the whole thing. So I'm like, I need these leaves off, or I need a thermal. One of the two.
These poor dogs, man. Now you can watch every single move they make on the Garmin, and years ago you'd turn a dog loose, they'd be out there barking. You'd think they're doing a great job. Now you can see they're bogging. And the same thing with the thermals, and dogs really hate bark limiter collars and things like that too. So, but yeah, it's them tools are game changer for sure.
Yep. No, that'll probably be the next big purchase for me. I know. The last 2 years I've been looking at them, and I'm like, I don't do a lot of if I summer hunted more, it would be a much more priority. But I don't tend to do a lot of summer hunting, but even like, May and September, October, you got enough leaves that it'd be nice to have one. That's for sure.
Oh yeah, no, not everybody hunts in the summer. I find it funny. I get on Facebook and I look at everything I can when I have time. And beginning of summer, you see a lot of dogs for sale, and then fall rolls around. This time, we're selling a lot of lights and a lot of thermals.
Yep.
People are getting back out. That's a good thing.
Oh yeah. But heck, if you didn't hunt in the summer, you'd never hunt, like we said.
Oh yeah, no. Summer's our best time. Work ain't busy, so hey, we're out there. That's for sure.
Y'all are crazy. Like I said, the first time you and Corey were both on, you guys hunt in the armpit of America. It's hot. It's nasty. Everything wants to, kill you down there.
Oh, we got it going on. I think, we're blessed. We only had one dog get bit by a snake this year. So, and he's fine. So we're doing pretty good as far as that goes this year. But there's still some warm weather left. We're not super cool with that. But now, couple months ago, I think I posted on Facebook. I went in an area that some big something in the water, and I backed out, and luckily I have a tone broke dog, and I couldn't make it to that tree. But it doesn't happen very often.
Yeah, I wouldn't be crossing much water if I couldn't see in it. That's for sure.
Oh yeah, no. I turned around and got out of there. My wife hates me going alone, but you get more work done when you're alone. So
I understand that though.
Mm-hmm.
What are you hunting right now?
Walkers. Is that what you're asking? What breed of dogs?
Well, just like
you asking.
You got Charlie's what? 3?
Yeah, I got a 3-year-old female at my house. I've got the daughter, which we bred her to Z. And, man, I like her. She's too wired, not almost to the point I got to go to work late tomorrow because they dug up and chewed up my fiber wire for my internet. I don't have any internet at the house right now. And it had to be that Z pup, but I got the females at my house. Corey has, oh goodness, here we go. Corey's got 4 males at his house. They're all under 3 years old. A couple of them, we've taken out the woods maybe 3 or 4 times. They're the wipeout pups that my grandfather had. He's got a Z male. He's got a dog out of Power Pack and Easy, a homeboy down here. We like him. That son of a gun. You turn him loose, he might end up in a different state though. He's just crazy. And then my grandpa, we've kind of, he's raising these pups for us. We got 2 out of Lake Round Rock, and we got one out. We bred that Power Pack male we had to a dog around here, and we got a little pup out of him. And then number 10, I haven't seen this dog yet, and we got a good buddy up in Tennessee, and we partnered in a dog with him. He's looking for a female out of rodeo, so we got one out of. It's actually out of Shine again, which is out of Shine, which is one of my grandpa's best females. So we got a little bit of that old bloodline we kind of wanted.
Nice.
But we've got we've got 10 coon dogs. So it's a lot. But we've kind of figured out in Florida, there's like 1 or 2 legacy hunts a year down here. You got to travel if you want to coon hunt, and like we've talked about all night, we ain't got time to leave the store. So we get young dogs, we make them, we get them going, we start them or finish them, and our plans to kind of move them along. And everybody's been pretty happy that's got one from us. So we don't oversell them or anything like that. We just get them doing what they're supposed to, and find somebody that can push them. So but now we enjoyed it. These pups will drive you nuts.
I'm sure.
Corey's not a big pup man. A year's good for him. I like them as little pups. My grandpa likes them as little pups, but we've got our hands absolutely full right now. So
sounds like it.
Yeah, but it's never boring. I'll tell you that. So
I can imagine.
But I can't even go hunting right now. All 3 roads around my into my hunting club are all flooded out. But we've got 2 clubs, and tomorrow night we got a little $35 PKC hunt, and
nice.
We'll have some people show up, and we'll see what our dogs can do.
Good deal.
Yeah.
Well, good luck tomorrow.
Oh, thanks. Thanks.
I don't want to hold you up all night. I appreciate you coming on and kind of filling us in what's going on at Conkeys and what's going on with you and.
I appreciate you having me on. And what episode number is this? Are we still going strong every week?
Oh yeah. Oh Lordy, what is this? 148, 149, something like that.
I put you on the spot, but I'll say this: I don't know any podcaster who's as dedicated, and we're extremely blessed to be able to sponsor you and work with you. And man, I appreciate you having me on. As much as I kick and scream to have to get on a podcast, I always enjoy talking to you and listening to yours. So
yep, this will be 149.
149 in a row every week on Tuesday.
Yep, every Tuesday. Like I said, there's been like 1 or 2 reruns. Well, technically 2. So there was 1 complete rerun, and then the one at the beginning of this year. It was, I had recorded with my son Charlie, and it just wasn't long. Like it was like 15 minutes. So then we had hunted with my good buddy Wayne, and Wayne's episode was probably one of the best episodes I ever did as far as downloads, and people loved it. So we did a rerun of that one. I tacked it on there as well.
Yeah.
So out of 149, only two reruns. I try to.
Oh, man. It's impressive. We've talked about podcasts, man. We don't have the time, and we're glad to be paired up with you, man. It's a blessing.
I appreciate everything you guys do for me, and I'm, we've given away, Razor vest. We given away a TT25. We've given away hats and T-shirts and what else? What else do we?
Oh yeah,
you guys have done, a bunch of stuff for the listeners here, so I appreciate that, and not to mention me, So
yeah, let's do something next month. Let's give away something else.
Sounds good. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, I'll be ready.
All righty. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you, Ben. Yes, sir. You have a good evening.
You too.
You can find me on Facebook and Instagram at Tree Talking Media. And until next time, keep them talking in the timber.